So Jamie, you're getting married?
Yes.
Good for you.
Oh, that's exciting.
Next year?
Next end of June.
We're ready to rock and roll.
Good morning. Today is August 4th. Welcome to the Troy Community Land Bank A&D Committee meeting. We will start with the roll call. Brian Barker.
Here.
Andrew Cooper.
Here.
James Mager. Here. Also, Brad Lewis and Project Manager Paul Donnelly. We'll start the meeting off by a review of our meeting minutes from January 6th, February 10th, April 8th, and July 11th meetings.
Do we need to, when we're ready, approve these individually, or can we just
I think you can always bundle it.
approve them all? I mean, I read through them all, how many comments, I don't think one of those gets it.
Decided to move the computer down.
Brian, made a motion? Yes.
Motion to approve is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'll second.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting minutes are passed. And we'll move on to our applications for 785 River Street.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how far we want to go with it right now, and you guys can steer the ship, but I provided you guys the spreadsheet, and we have the two applications that are largely complete, but technically incomplete. The first one, the individual has written an email. I'll give you guys a second to just, actually they responded to a message to me. And essentially, they do not agree to the terms of document 2 and document 4, which is the mortgage enforcement. That's the one that we have the right to enforce them to work on the property. If they don't, we can foreclose or take it back. And they also don't agree to like 10-year rent restrictions. And so, but otherwise, the application's complete.
I don't know, I mean, that's.
They don't agree?
Well, you can read the message.
Yeah, no, I know, I guess.
If we want to move forward with a standard property purchase application, they would be open to that, but they're not open to any of the liens or anything.
That's a core function of the land bank, right? So yeah. I don't think that's in any way negotiable, and I wouldn't support that myself.
So, and then the second person, they were able to get their application in, it's largely complete, but it is, they just physically couldn't drop off a check, which they said they would drop off the check this week. And so that's what we need is their application, or their application fee and their deposit. And that person seems to be involved in some projects downtown, but this would be the first time that they're gonna be an owner of a building. They're from Brooklyn, so. But what was the building? There was a building, Darren something, they have in their application, and there's a building in downtown Troy that they've been working on as a project manager of some sort. It's in the application, but again, since there's no deposit, it's up to you guys if you want to consider it or table it. And if you consider it, you would obviously have to be, there's, the way this meeting is, the 4th is today, the 20th is the regular board meeting. We have 16 days to make any contingencies you guys might have for
I
this.
think so both of these offers are the initial offers are pretty close.
Yeah.
The only different, and both applications are incomplete, right?
Technically, yeah.
The 420, let's call 425,000 initial investment into the property piques my interest, so it leads me to believe that this person is gonna turn this property around. But I would be more inclined to table it and give Caroline a chance to bring a check in.
Mhm.
What I think, I say we don't need to sell this, as you said numerous times, right? This is not something that has to go.
That's right.
Correct?
And I should add, just the 425 investment, that number, this individual was the contractor
For the product.
for a Legacy Cities program, and their number was 600, but we just put it out the bid, and we were awarded 337,000. So they're notoriously high compared to.
To what we get.
Well, to the market, so
Numbers.
their pricing is notoriously high, and if they're doing the work themselves, then they can just throw any number at it, so. I caution everybody to say, like, they're investing $400,000, but if they're just paying themselves, I can tell you I'm investing $10 million, and it's not actually turning anything around different than.
So their numbers are probably closer to one another.
I mean, from an investment standpoint, like, I don't care that you wrote a check, I care that you make units of housing.
So then I think, to my point, then I think we table the whole thing altogether and go back to both of these. We're not in a hurry to sell this.
No, we could just write another grant, fix it ourselves. I think that, by tabling it, you'll show at least anybody who's wondering that you have to have a complete application.
Yeah, I think we need to set that precedent.
Because if people try to, like the last round, people try to come in like the day we had the meeting to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or wanted us to table the whole thing because they didn't get a chance to put their application in. People need to get it in, and probably I should communicate a little more firmly the Thursday before the A&D meeting, so I at least can look at it Thursday or Friday and get the information to you guys. And if they can't physically drop off a check, but we set aside $785 for 2 whole months. So,
So now that we're talking about this and I'm thinking about it, both missing pieces are pretty, quite frankly, aggravating to me, right? The first, let's call them A.
yeah,
The fact that you were supplied with an application and believe that you can negotiate the terms prior to your application even being accepted was mind-boggling. That's all stuff that happens with attorney approval.
right, but if that person has to submit the documentation that they want to negotiate, then probably they can submit their own purchase contract, and then we're stuck accepting it. We spent the money on Whiteman, to generate our own contract, but at the same time, if they want to negotiate the contract itself, and then they sign the contract that they want to later come back on, they can't sign it. They'd have to do what this individual did if they want to negotiate the contract.
My point is,
Yeah.
the application is the application, right?
Yeah, but so
Have we ever negotiated terms of our application prior to accepting one?
no. So I think the mortgage enforcement's guaranteed to be something that this land bank's always had.
Yeah.
One of the terms he did mention was the 25,000. And I think that in the drafting of the contract, that was what we used for 791 River Street. And that was the penalty stiff enough so people complied with our terms. Because if they don't comply with our terms, that's a big fine. But at the same time, you could later come back and say, could you make it 15 or 20, or like somebody might say that, but they can't say that after they've submitted the contract. So I think.
I understand what you're saying. If you sign the contract is the contract.
Yeah, so you can't negotiate the contract and submit a complete application. They're mutually exclusive.
There's a reason for the rules.
But yes, and I don't believe, for 2 reasons, I believe we table it. We don't set a precedent negotiating prior, and we don't set a precedent accepting incomplete applications. Because quite frankly, B is just as aggravating because you submit an application, and to me, one of the most important things is the deposit check.
Money.
But at the same time, I'm just bringing to you, this person submitted it via email. I think it was Thursday PM.
They both came in late, right?
No, they're not, are they late if,
Not
they're
late.
late for this meeting, but we don't have to sell it, we don't have to make a decision at this
They
meeting,
can still
so.
be part of the next
No,
meeting.
no, I don't mean, that's what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah.
You should go
One
towards
of these
next
came
meeting.
in while I was in office.
Right,
I went through paperwork really briefly, and he was missing a deposit check, went to his car, wrote the actual deposit check.
my point is, when I say late, I don't mean past the allotted time, I mean on the last day of applications.
Well, right, but we haven't published that yet, where we're like, you need to have it in this.
Yeah, we're not, these are,
We do
this
rolling
potential sale
applications, so
isn't-
people can always just submit, they can submit today, later.
There was, I think he's saying there was no hard deadline that you had to get this in by.
Yeah, we don't have,
I don't believe there was.
So what if we continue to get applications on this?
we will, when you table it. If you
I'm
table it,
saying if we didn't table it, will we be in the same situation as last month?
I think you're onto something pretty clever there.
Yeah, that's what I'm,
Yeah,
That's
so,
fine.
I mean, that's essentially the same thing, is your process is your process. And it's unfortunate they didn't have their check, and tabling it enforces that, says, yeah, why don't you submit your check?
You know, I think from the A&D committee standpoint, maybe it might be a good idea for you guys to consider coming up with a remedy with actual dates, so that when a property does get listed on our website or on the MLS, that, okay, we know that, like Brad said, it's the Thursday prior to
yeah,
the A&D
meeting,
committee meeting.
yeah.
That's when,
We just put that on our website, that's what
Okay.
I have to do.
right.
yeah,
It's that simple. If you don't have it in Thursday before the A&D meeting, it won't be considered.
It won't be considered.
until the next month.
Right.
Until next month, but if it's already pending, then I'm sorry that you didn't bring it.
Yeah, I mean,
You still have
the,
45 days, so.
so the general deadlines for for applicants will just be that, whatever day we set per month.
Mhm.
But then if we have a particular property that we have some other situation, we can
Always say
articulate that, yeah.
So, but to be considered, it should be Thursday before, complete.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to take 75, the sale of 75.
Second.
So I have one other follow-up though, before we vote on that. The offer with the person that says they don't want to negotiate terms, or they want to negotiate our terms. I mean, I don't think that's where we're gonna do that.
No.
And
We just
so
need to-
do we need to provide that feedback to them, or will that
I'll
happen?
provide that.
Yeah, we
You
say
should
like,
communicate that.
because I just by tabling it, are we not making a decision
No,
about that?
yeah,
Because I feel
this
like
is-
we should make it and tell them.
Well,
we're not doing
we'll tell the one person submit your checks.
Yeah.
The other person, the committee is not interested in negotiating terms. But I think as a rule, if somebody requests it, like this particular individual, we should at least discuss it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because
I mean,
otherwise-
there could be a situation,
You
I don't
can-
know, that could come up where it makes sense to
Yeah.
have a, unusual scenario. But
So in the process going forward, I think that's the fairest thing, is to say, if you do not agree to this complete application, please provide documentation. The committee will consider your services.
Alternative?
Well, yeah, if somebody because otherwise, if you don't agree to one nuanced term and the whole committee could say, well, that's not a big deal. Then maybe somebody could put an application in, but to remedy the problem that the mutual exclusivity of a complete application, but also wanting to negotiate. So if somebody wanted to negotiate, the letter to negotiate the terms that they're incomplete on would suffice as making it complete enough that we can give them the feedback, then we're not gonna negotiate.
Okay, we can't, there'd be no point in tabling this and not going back to this applicant.
Yeah, so we go to them and say, documents 2 and 4 have to be at this right now. It's not like, we are trying to get rid of it as hard as possible. We own it for 10 years and we can fix it ourselves if we want to. So, but I just said, our rule is we don't consider applications unless they're complete. But if somebody would like us to exclude something or change something, if they write a letter to talk about the documents that they didn't provide, then okay. But certain ones, like your ID, it's like, well, I don't want to give you my ID. It's like, well, that's kind of weird, Or I don't even want to put my name on a piece of paper.
I don't know if unless this person has a really sharp real estate attorney where they can propose an alternative that makes sense to both us and them.
Well, they just want to go standard.
Yeah, well, that's not a good
So
alternative.
we don't have any
Don't
arm
come
to
to the
take
land
it
bank.
You gotta have, we have to have teeth
No,
at the end of the
yeah,
day into our
100%.
agreement, just so we don't sit and say, look, it's been 3 years, the guy hasn't done anything, you know?
Well, but at the end of the day, this particular individual wouldn't mind if the building wasn't there, because when you and I started, that was their perspective.
Mhm.
So without a mortgage enforcement, they could knock it down.
Right.
So I think
And we wasted all fall putting up the roof and
And
cleaning out the
Yeah.
debris.
I think we communicate to that then, that is the premise of this. That's why this is in there. Is to protect this thing from getting done.
We're protected from you, but also they're afraid
We need
of,
it done.
they're afraid of the $25,000 fee.
Oh, you gotta get the job done.
Well, but he does, what if you don't want to do the job, but you just want site control?
Oh, then you can't.
And then you don't want the fee, right?
You don't want the building
You
either.
don't want to, well, you don't, but you do want the building, but you don't want to pay the 25,000 because you don't plan to actually do it, maybe. I'm not saying this is that individual, but it could.
playing devil's advocate.
Devil's
If
advocate.
you're willing to put 425,000 into the building, why would 25,000 scare you?
Mhm.
Because with 425,000 in, the building's gonna be done,
Mhm.
right?
So, there was a first and a
Yeah,
second.
Yep, so all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Then we'll go on to the pursuance of the vacant lots.
Yeah, so you guys, I don't know that you guys even know anything about this, Andrew and Brian.
I don't.
You're like, what's this guy up to? Yeah. So there's some pictures, but I'm gonna take you on a little tour up here.
Huh.
Of, so these are 5 lots, I'll start by saying. HCR put out a survey and they said to us, can you get your hands on vacant lots in the city? And I filled out the survey, I'm like, yeah, I can. And I put in, the lots we had, on River Street or in 6th Ave. And I didn't know what the purpose of the vacant lots were. So she called me a couple Fridays ago at 5:30 PM to talk this out, which seems odd because it's past, so typical people are not working at that time, but I said I'm available the whole time. And so she seemed pretty excited for what's called a cross mod, which is a modular home that they're putting on a slab foundation. She wanted to make sure the land bank in Troy was gonna go tour the pilot program in Schenectady. The tour is Wednesday, the 6th of August. Jamie's gonna go, Paul's gonna go, we're gonna see what a modular home looks like. We're gonna be able to take pictures of it and stuff. So they built one of these homes. The idea is that they would build a single family home. I guess it's like 250,000 all in. They pay for it, I'm pretty sure, or they at least front the money and we pay them back with the sale of the property. But essentially, we get site control and arrange the site so that way we can get a single family home, owner occupied, to live there. And I went to the assessor's office and I asked her for just a rundown of what the city's inventory of vacant property was. I identified 7 sites, and then when driving through them, 2 of them were really useful. And so I've identified 5 sites that could be useful for this project. The 5 sites are pictured up here and listed on the agenda. This one's 65 Man Avenue. The property goes pretty much from this building all the way up here to about 100 feet.
That's Troy Brand on
Yep. Man Avenue's,
one of the hell, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
parallel to Lincoln. And so currently, it's hard to see, but there's just people
Man
parking
Avenue goes
unregistered
into St.
abandoned
Joseph
vehicles
Cemetery.
here. And somebody else is parked over here, but of course the lot line's here. So you could just pour a slab and put 2 of those modular homes there. I mean, you own all the way up to here on that one.
What do you say forest slab you're talking about?
Like in Hillsview Heights, half of the foundations are all on slabs and the other half are like basements. So when I say pour a slab, I mean like an Alaskan slab or
But you
something
can't
like
do
that.
an Alaskan slab.
Wow.
You still have to have technically footing.
Yeah, so it'd probably be like 4 feet deep, but leave the dirt and pour concrete over
Correct.
top, and then you have the modular home goes on top of that. So you don't have a basement access, your plumbing's probably buried in concrete.
Yeah.
But again, not even a quarter mile away, there's houses that are exactly like that from this site on Man Avenue. Most of the ones that were built in Hillsview Heights, no foundation underneath, no basement. I should say no foundation, no basement.
Just on the dirt.
Yeah, just throw it down. They're just gonna drop it. This is a 50-foot lot on Erie Street where you know, you could be able to potentially put one on here, somebody's maintaining it. There's, you know, my truck and some guy's trailer, so you could essentially just sneak it in there.
Where's this, Brad?
Erie Street is near Kennedy's on the other side of the church.
Oh, yep.
And
Okay.
so it's on, you're taking Mill Street down towards the mural where the water wheel mural's at the bottom. If you go up that street, there's one light, you would take a left and another left. You can actually see it from Mill Street, but it's parallel to Mill Street on the other side. This is
Whose program is it?
HCR. It's called a cross mod program. So this is 100 feet wide at St. Vincent's Avenue. On St. Vincent's, there's already single family homes that look like this. Although I was talking to a planner from the past and they said they accidentally made this a way more dense neighborhood than the neighborhood is currently. So zoning wise, you could actually put 2 or 3 of these right up against each other without even needing a variance because they zoned it so heavily. I don't think we would do that, but I think that you could stick 2 of them there. And the more interesting part about this is one of the bucket list items for the city has been able to provide trail access from pretty much the right-hand side of, so this is 100 feet wide. I don't think we need all 100 feet in order to build this. There's woods back here called the Osgood Woods. And one of the bucket list item was that they'd be able to create a trailhead, maybe 10 feet wide, where people can access the woods in the back and go to the trail. It wraps around the school. There's like a school on Canal Avenue and what's it, Fifth Avenue, actually?
Mhm.
It's a very short
Fifth.
It's even shorter than short Fifth.
It's,
But there's a school on the corner of Fifth and Canal, and behind it's a trail and a trailhead back there. There used to be an old orphanage and stuff like that. So providing access to the trail would be something we can do on accident, really, in the effort of still building 2 owner-occupied homes. So this is all in South Troy, and then there's 2 in North Central. This is only 25 feet wide. This is 29 11th Street. And this is 472 10th Street, which is on the corner lot. And of course, this tree's kind of in the way. And I don't know if you could sneak it by or come off the side and put the house behind the tree, or the tree would have to go. I don't know, but that's another 25-foot lot. So I'm not as excited about the second 2, but they were still possible. And, you know, it would be planning, that sort of stuff, but maybe something that could happen in the spring. What I wanted to do is get these 5 properties in front of you guys before we go look at it Wednesday. You know, the whole thing could fall apart and we don't pursue it, but at least if we do the groundwork now, when the grant application comes in a month from now, we would know whether we even have the ability to get site control. So the people that are on board right now is the assessor's fine, happy with it. I talked with the mayor and the deputy mayor. Obviously Seamus is on our board too. He and she both seem to be pretty happy with the whole thing. Of course, she would rather make housing than have side lot, is what she said in an email. So she was excited about that.
Where are the modulars coming from?
I was about to ask, is there a particular company that
I
they're,
think the company is Champion, and I think the process, and everything's very loose, the grant's gonna come in, but I think Champion is the company, and the state is probably gonna buy in bulk, like 50 of them from them, and try to plop them down in dense areas of the state so they can do the site work and get 5 installed, do the site work, do
I
5.
believe Buffalo is already doing this, right?
I don't know if Buffalo's doing it. I think they're doing some stick built, some modular, but I think there was a pilot program for 1 in Syracuse and 1 in Schenectady.
Is
Okay.
there anything special about it? Are they like all electric or? You know?
No, I think the thing special is they're cheap. And the state's trying to find out ways to
well,
make housing.
and quickly built.
Entry level.
And
Yeah.
and produce it inside in controlled conditions and, you know,
They're all
it's the
the
whole
same.
modular.
They're gonna be the same, about 1 mile, yeah.
Just one more. How long is it?
1,500 square feet. So I think the method is that, to get that pricing, every land bank that participates is gonna end up being a certified retailer of Champion Homes or something like that. That's the way you sort of,
I mean, I understand that, but I'm like, oh, really?
But I think the reason you have to do that is because, we're gonna have procurement issues, and if our procurement problem is that need to put it out to bid, you're waiting 30 days, but the state's already negotiated a great rate,
it's
and they're
already-
gonna pay them, then there's a way they've started to work through it. It's all very fluid, and at this point, after the A&D meeting, if you guys don't want to even pursue the lots for the potential of the program, well then, it's a potential that it doesn't happen at all. So it's the first gate that we open, but there's many of them, including the actual pursuing, and then the actual closing of the property, and then the actual working towards the grant, and then moving towards being a modular home.
Certified retailer.
I just.
And that's just what I remember. I could be wrong, but it's,
Yeah.
It has a ring, like it rings true to me. I mean, well, I know.
We don't have to utilize that,
do what?
to be a freaking retailer of this.
Well, we would only do it for our program.
To participate in the
Yeah.
program, we wouldn't.
We're not gonna be in
keep
business.
selling them.
We're not selling
I mean, I like
prefabs,
that.
no way.
So we're buying and then selling?
So I don't know exactly what, because they haven't put out the grant yet.
Okay.
But I'm being tipped off that if we could prepare ourselves to be eligible for the grant, that we would be in a high position to get the grant. Wednesday, the president of HCR wants to talk to us at the open house about this.
So we're not, so then we move forward, we pursue these 5 lots.
You recommend,
We recommend to the board that we pursue 5 lots. We're not committing to anything with HCR, right? So
no, we have to fill out the grant. And then we have to be awarded the grant. And then after we're awarded, then you guys have to approve whatever contracts come in.
And
So
we're
you got-
buying these, or are these on the list?
they're on the list.
They're on the list of the city. I'm not sure what's gonna motivate.
$1,000 or something like that.
I could see that being a fair thing to them, enough that motivates them to think that it does something. I think just not having to pay the school taxes might motivate them. But,
Brian, I just thought of something, when you asked all electric. I could be wrong, but after January 1st of 26, any new build has to be all electric anyways.
I don't know if
I thought so.
multi-families.
I'm not sure exactly when it rolls out.
It
but-
can't be just multifamily, because Marini, if you read the business review, Marini packed up and is moving to build homes in Tennessee. He doesn't build multifamily.
Yeah.
So I think,
I thought it was all hot builds.
yeah, I think,
Hmm.
which is not, I don't think that is a bad thing for us, I think it's a better story.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm sure that's gonna come up in discussion with HCR.
Yeah.
They're gonna know whether or not they're
Well,
gonna
listen, it
have
could
a
be
fully
part of their
electric home or
initiative
not.
anyways.
Right.
It could be easier for them to online new housing,
Mhm.
if they're controlling this storyline here, they're like, look what Governor Hochul's doing, she's building all electric houses.
Right.
And we're doing 3340 all electric. It's got a brand new gas meter out front. It's but we're just doing the electric heat pumps and the electric hot water tanks. Otherwise, and electric stove. That's you only need natural gas for those 3 things.
And quite frankly, something like this too, if you're gonna do all electric, this is the model that fits. Like, you can't do a 2,500, 3,000, I mean, you can. I don't know if the buyer wants a 3,000 square foot all electric home. This right here.
Yeah.
This is a standalone.
I mean, if so,
Good size
you
apartment.
hope that, with that modular model, that they would be, more, above minimum code for,
Pretty airtight.
climate control.
for just all around. And that's, much easier to do, especially your air sealing, so much easier when you're building whole, walls, cubes, or I don't know exactly what
Yeah.
level of module they're working with, but.
The other question we can ask too, if we're even chosen to do this, or we even choose to move forward, is can we add finishes to them? We can certainly blow, if we have money to burn, right?
To spend wisely, you mean?
To spend wisely.
That's a fair point. Otherwise, we're
If
just,
that's one of your asks.
if these are all just cookie cutters, literally, we're just doing the paperwork
Yeah,
and,
I think that's the idea.
what are we actually, that's down the line, but that would be a good question. What are we actually getting? And is it?
I think our mission of creating 5 owner-occupied units of housing in the city, I'm sure there's a little bit of money that comes somehow. I'm not sure whether it's a subsidy or do they pay it outright and we get to keep the sale price? That would be very unique. You know, that would just be a windfall, but when I say that, it's like, they pay for
Sounds
it
good to me.
and we sell it for $250. It's like, oh, and then, you know, but sometimes in the land bank world that happens. So I don't know exactly the terms.
Yeah, well, there's lots of details. To it.
Yeah.
Would we get our 5%?
I'm not sure.
Have you seen the models?
We're going
That's what they're
Wednesday.
gonna, next
Until
week,
Wednesday.
or that's this Wednesday?
Yeah, it's Wednesday
The
now.
6th.
Oh, that's-
One o'clock.
that'd be cool to go. I'd like to see
You
that.
can go if you want. It's Schenectady. Don't you work in Albany?
Yeah.
Hop over for 1 o'clock. I plan to take
Maybe,
pictures.
well, you know what? Send me the details. Maybe I gotta see what I got going on this week. But
Yeah.
busy.
It's only Monday.
It's already Monday.
Traveling to Kansas today.
Oh, jeez.
So we just need to.
You just vote to recommend to the board, and then in 16 days when we have our board meeting, we'll know a lot more.
Yeah.
And then we can explain why we had the resolution to pursue. Then we have to get the city to pass it through city council too. So there's a lot of gates that have to open. This is the first one. So you guys are starting to learn about new project. That might land for the spring. I don't know if they'll get them out in the fall or if they do it in the winter, but
Next board in Nebraska, that championship.
Can we get swag?
certified retailer.
What else do we get?
That's all we want.
Yes.
At least a hoodie.
Yeah, I think the state did an RFP for modular home builders for this, and
It is, it's a compelling model for like the model, if they do it right. You know, I think there's,
how you doing? We're in the middle of a live stream meeting. Can I send it to you? Just take the ticket and give it to you tomorrow?
Just give me
The money tomorrow, yeah. Okay, thanks. You guys know PJ?
Okay.
take care.
It's a fundraiser tomorrow we're going to.
so I would motion that we bring this to the board, saying that, based on what we know right now, we're supporting this, pursuing for this further.
Put it to the board as new business.
Yeah,
I'll second.
Well, usually we put it under the recommendations from the AD committee. And so this would be the only part of that, because it's obviously tabled, the first and second, so.
I don't think we need any more discussion. So, all in favor?
I,
So, that recommendation passes. Do you have anything else, Brad?
Yeah, the date at the bottom of the agenda saying August
That's
4th.
Yeah.
No, the date of the August 4th is, that is today.
We're having another meeting right now.
Let me get that date so that we can fix that. It's the first Monday, which is actually Labor Day. So you have the ability.
Work for me.
I know, you have the ability to do it. I don't care about holidays.
I'll be away.
I'll be away as well.
So why don't we set that date together? I have it on here, but I'll change that. It's September, we can do, our board meeting is the 17th, our executive committee meeting is the 12th on September. We could also do the 8th, which is the second Monday.
Yeah, if we could go to the second Monday, then you guys.
September 8th.
Yeah, please.
I will not be in town, just for the record.
It's all right.
You good on the 8th, Andrew?
I'm checking. Give me a second here.
Jim, are you a certified retailer of floor decor?
No.
So yeah, Monday the 8th, regular time. Yeah, that's fine with me.
I don't even know, we just bought flooring for a job or whatever. That's what it's on.
All right.
I didn't know I had it on.
September 8th is good.
Yeah, it is for me.
So we'll set the date for the next A&D committee meeting to be September 8th at 8:30, same location. And if there is nothing else, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's a wrap.
Yeah, Brad, can you send me